the Commission's attention to the human rights impact of the criminalization of LGBT people. Evidence shows that criminalization drives systematic violations of civil rights enshrined in the African Charter, including the right to freedom without distinction of any kind in Article 2, be free from torture or ill treatment, Article 5, to be free from arbitrary arrest and detention, Article 6, and the right to health as it is in Article 16. Additionally, the criminalization and its impact on LGBT people violate the principles of non-discrimination, proportionality, and necessity as laid down in the 2014 Rwanda guidelines. Despite this, a vast majority of countries in African region continue to criminalize LGBT people. In Africa, there are 32 countries that still criminalize homosexuality. Of these, 30 have ratified the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, but only 18 have submitted themselves to the registration of the UN Rights Committee by ratifying the optional protocol to the ACHPR. The states where criminalization is evident have done nothing to protect the rights of life for every citizen, but rather contributed significantly to the violence against LGBT, many who live in desperation propagated by state actors through law enforcement. Criminalization further creates a barrier to access critical health services, including HIV prevention and treatment services. Fear of harassment, torture, policing, and incarceration derives LGBT people away from life-saving health services, increasing their vulnerability to diseases such as HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, and other health issues, further derailing the countries from achieving the 95-95-95 targets by 2025. So the goal of decriminalization is to end violations, cruelty, and injustices towards LGBT people and the attainment of good state of health for all. It seeks to create a supportive and enabling environment in which LGBT people can freely demand and access health services and support without fear or stigma, discrimination, arrest, and detention. In September this year, during the UN high-level meeting in New York, it was agreed that all partners in the UHC movement, whether government representative, parliamentarians, academia, civil society, or private sector, must hold countries accountable and ensure that the commitments made on the UHC are translated into concrete action that advances UHC at the community, regional, national, and global levels. With the criminalization of LGBT people, the reality to achieving UHC remains a far-fetched ambition. However, we acknowledge that there has been notable progress within the region, including 5 countries that recently legalized same-sex, further demonstrating that it is possible and achievable. Countries like Angola, Botswana, Mozambique, Lesotho, Seychelles. The regression in human rights and appeal of progressive judgments related to the rights of key population remain a grave concern as they threaten the safety of fellow Africans who identify differently. Since the Anti-Homosexuality Act was passed in Uganda, more countries in the region have shown intolerance of such groups. The new legislation constitutes further a crackdown of LGBT people that were already illegally punishable. We therefore call upon the Commission to support rights of LGBT people and commit to the resolution made during the ordinary session held in Rwanda on protection against violence and other human rights violations against persons on the basis of their real or imputed sexual orientation or gender identity. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you.